Welcome to the Stratomatic Strategy Session. I'm Matt Beagle, and we're going to start with an overview of the 2010 card set and draft pool. 2010 was the year of the pitcher, and that tells you there's lots of decent, usable pitching options out there. In other years, you were always tempted to overpay, or maybe had to overpay, to get that excellent pitching staff 1 through 5. Well, this year there's lots of usable options, so don't go crazy and overpay just to fill out your staff. Also, there's lots of good relievers in the draft, so you can build your pitching staff that way, and it's a lot cheaper. On the hitting side, there's a lot less hitters, of course, if it was the year of the pitcher. So you may want to take a little more of your assets and try to get a really solid lineup this year because it will really pay off. If your league mates aren't aware of the shift, you may be able to get some hitting cards at a discount compared to previous prices. Even if you have to overpay a little, it may be worth it, especially in the infield. Even at first base, there's a real drop-off after the first few first basemen. You really look at the cards in detail and see the weaknesses that are out there. So in the infield, you definitely want to overpay a little bit for those hitter cards because there's really a big drop-off after those first couple guys. Also, there's very few cards to get in the draft. There's the top 4 that seem to go 1, 2, 3, 4 in every draft as hitters that have good cards this year, but after that, there's really not that much out there in the draft pool. And what that tells you if you're a contender is that trade your draft picks to get the current cards now. Before your draft starts, if you can, if you haven't drafted yet, trade those picks to get a good card right now. And during the draft, when someone gets excited about a prospect, trade those picks for current cards. Whenever you're a contender anyway, your best bet is to try to get as many good cards as you can this year because odds are, in general, they're going to have the best card next year. You can always build for the future any year you want, but when you're going to be a contender, you got to be good now. So get that card. And this year more than ever, there's not that many hitting cards in the draft, so you're going to have to trade your picks to get them. Also, if you have second, third, fourth, fifth round picks, try to trade up in the draft this year if you can to try to get what few hitting cards are out there because you just don't have that many options if you miss out. There's also a lot of good future players in this draft, lots of prospects that have good futures, so it's a great year to rebuild if you don't have a good team. Get as many picks as you can, spread your risk out, and you can really build a deep roster of good prospects in this draft. It also sets up a really good matchup between contenders and rebuilders for trading possibilities. In some drafts, there's a bunch of good cards but not many good prospects, so rebuilders don't know what to do. But this year you have both good prospects and very few cards, so it makes a natural matchup here where rebuilders can trade off their veteran players with good cards and get some good draft picks and get some good prospects. So it should be a good year for trading in your league. Some other draft observations: there's plenty of good left-handed starters and young first basemen, so they're going to slide in your draft. And of course, as always, there's lots of good relievers. It's a lot cheaper to build a good contending team with relief cards. There's lots of them out there you can get in the second, third, fourth, fifth round. Not many lefty relievers, but lots of righty relievers. So make sure you take advantage of this and succeed in your league this year. For Stratomatic, I'm Matt Beagle.